Hello, I want to do a CRUD example where we connect by API or we communicate by API from a Drupal to a mobile app done in Alloy Titanium. First of all, we need to have our data feed ready, and to do that, um, I'm using my Drupal. It's a Drupal 7. It might have changed for Drupal 8, but the students in my class are using Drupal 7 at the current moment, and that is also why I'm using Drupal 7 for this example. So, to show you what I have installed, yes, under modules, there's nothing to do with core. You can see it, but I haven't changed anything in core. Well, that's how core is looking in my Drupal. So if we close that down, I have installed Chaos Tool suite, and in that I only check out Chaos Tools because I'm only using this Drupal as it is right now to generate my API. So as other tools, I've added image URL formatter, and that's a module that can change the URL so it won't contain HTML tags, and that's quite usable when you're not doing HTML. So this is really important. Also, I have included libraries, and I included libraries because I use that in other modules. It is required by other modules. So services, that's kind of the main thing. You have to install this to be able to generate a JSON feed. Services requires Chaos Tool. And then I installed something called Services Views. And that's because I think it's an easy way to organize your data in Drupal. So when you get it on the phone, it's already organized. So I really want to use the views. I will get in trouble that I will explain later on. So services authentication, as we saw here, it's a good thing that you use authentication on your services. I'm not going to talk about security or anything in this video, but you should absolutely look into this one. I haven't activated it, but I think that I should mention it for you guys so you know that this is something that you have to look into yourself. Services, servers. Okay, so the REST server is what I'm going to focus on because I'm going to do a REST API on in Alloy that is created by Mads Møller. This one, REST services, is the only one that I activate. And then of course we have the views, and of course I always install views UI, and that's it. That's actually it. That's all I have in my configuration of modules. Let's look under structure then. Okay, so the first thing is I created a content type called product, and if we go in and look at that one, well, there's not a lot in here. Really not. Publish, promoted to front page. Well, I'm not using the front page, so it doesn't really matter. Comments, yes, I have them on, but I'm not really using them. Menu settings, at least not at this point. So this is kind of a totally standard one. So the settings. But if I click on manage fields, I do have product name, description, product image, product price, and detailed image. The reason why I have two images is that I want two different sizes of the image, so I don't have to load that much on the phone. And of course, all the data will be created in Drupal as the backend. There's not a lot in here. As you can see, the widgets are totally standard widgets as it is in right now. Manage display, product image, original image, detail image, original image. Comment fields, I'm not using that. Comment display, and that's it. That's it for you. Okay, so we have our content types already. We have our service module, and we have our view. So first of all, let's look at the services here. So what I did was I clicked this button up here so I could add a new one, and then I'm pretty sure I can click this one. Yes. So it's really important here. Well, you can see what I added here. I added a machine readable name of the endpoint API, and then the path to be the same as the endpoint. I'm not doing this because I have to, but I'm doing this so I don't get confused about those two. And then of course I select the REST server to be a REST server, and I don't have any authentication, as I mentioned before. And if we go to the server, we do have only JSON to be a response formatters. The reason for that is that when I go in and call my data feed, I need to be able to do this, so I get the whole list. But also, if I only want one node, I need to be able to do this and still get it in JSON. The difference is if I, for example, had more than JSON, if I also had like XML, as you can see here, it would change to XML by default. And I don't want that. I don't want that because I will not be able to add the extension of JSON in the end. At least I haven't found a solution for that. Oops, I forgot to save. There it is. And let's reload again. Yes, now it's JSON again. This is what I need, and this is what I need for later on. So this is how how you can test it in the end. But that's the setup of the server. Authentication. I don't have any authentication. Again, I would recommend you to add something if you're doing a real one. Resources. Well, let's look at the view to start with, because I do like to use the view, but it doesn't support all the CRUD features. It only supports retrieve. So it retrieves the data, but I can't change it. And if I want to change it, I need to use nodes. Okay, so does node support all CRUD features? Well, we do have retrieve, create, update, delete. So yes, so that's a create, read, update, delete. We do support all CRUD. Also relationships with files and comments, if we want that, attach files, for example. Accepted everything by clicking this one because I needed all the CRUD functionality. You don't need the last three for this example that I'm doing. And export, well, it looks like this. And to take a last look at view, I created this called products 2. The first product didn't work because I started out on a different name, and then the Drupal got quite confused. The thing in this one is that I have up here you can add a service fan, not that it is that different. And in this I have done it as a unformatted list, and I'm showing fields, which is title, body, product image, product price. And if I click on product image, using the image URL formatter, and that's about it. The rest of it is just standard, so you don't have to worry about that. For my example, I do have a requirement that the content needed to be published, and the sort criteria is sorted by post date. So, and I also have a page 100 items. So there is kind of a max of items that I can show. So that's all the structure that you need. Maybe I should have shown you. So how is this gonna look like? As you can see, I do have a few products in here. And I'm pretty sure that I can show you an example if I go into service. I didn't show you this. If I go into service, the JSON will look like this. So we do have node title and node ID and node created date ticks. Body, which is our description, and the product image. And if I find a product image, there's nothing there. I think it's the last ones. Let's see, product image. You can see it is only the URL that is included in this one, and that's good. So that is the setup of Drupal. There's nothing more to it. I must tell you about the permissions that I've done. So this is only a database used for test. I know you have totally access when I show you this. Anonymous can view published contest, and anonymous users can also bypass content access control. So they can view, edit, delete all content regardless of permission restrictions. So I need this to be able to do that in the CRUD example. So just to finish this part off with Drupal, at the end you should be able to actually go in and create this URL. Like the API is the endpoint, the node is part of Drupal, and this is a specific node. And if you leave this out, you should get a list of all nodes. So I can see there's a node with the NID 31. Let's do that. And then I get all the information about node 31. The other thing that I did was I created a view, and the view will call products 2. And I can do this. There's one thing I want to mention is that if you want to look at views by using the service module, you will have to write views with an S at the end, and then the name of the view to see it. That's a bit different from the other one, where you have to write node and maybe the number here, or not if you want the list.